Hey, Amit, tonight we're going to make a French potato salad with an herbed vinaigrette, or we could also call it pomme à l'huile. Here we have all the ingredients for our pomme à l'huile. So we have some red potatoes, skin on. I'm just going to slice these up. I'll show you that in a second. And what we're going to do is in a couple phases. We're going to steam these, and as soon as they're steamed, we're going to make kind of a marinade for them. Half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, a couple tablespoons of white wine, and a couple tablespoons of white wine vinegar. So we let this stuff soak together, and then we make like an herb dressing. We snip up the chives, we chop up the parsley and the shallots, and we just had a couple of ounces of, a couple tablespoons of each of these, extra virgin olive oil and some white wine vinegar. We make a little final dressing, and these guys soaking warm will absorb all the oils. It's very delicious. And then we just finish it with that. Step one, we're going to prep our potatoes. I've rinsed them off, and I'm just going to slice them into about ½ inch, kind of bite-sized pieces. We're going to cook them with the skin on. We're going to steam them for like 15 or 20 minutes. And if there's any little eyes that you don't like, you could even quarter it this way and then make bite-sized pieces like this. Okay, we've got our potatoes chopped up, not peeled, trimmed out any of the little, black spots that you find, little eyes and stuff that you don't like, and off to the steamer. We put our potatoes straight into a steamer, boiling water in the bottom for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're soft. You pierce them with a knife, that's how you tell. While our red potatoes are steaming, we can start our little preliminary dressing. We're going to put on the warm potatoes, so ½ a cup of extra virgin olive oil, a couple tablespoons of white wine, dry white wine hopefully, a couple tablespoons of white wine vinegar, big pinch of salt, maybe a teaspoon or so. And we're just going to put this on the warm potatoes and let them soak for a while we make the final dressing. We've been steaming our red potatoes for 15 minutes, and you can see the knife goes right in, so they're ready. I'm going to put them in a bowl and add the primary dressing, just the oil and the vinegar and the white wine. While our potatoes are still warm, we add our primary vinaigrette, which is the extra virgin olive oil, a couple tablespoons of white wine, a couple tablespoons of white wine vinegar. And we're going to let this soak for maybe ½ an hour would be good. It's really perfect when they're warm because then it soaks in a little better. If we don't think there's enough liquid in here, we could just squirt a little extra olive oil in there. And we put some salt in there. Once it cools down a little, you can taste it for salt and add a little extra kosher salt if you need to. I would stir this every 5 minutes, just a little stir, so they're coated. Put this on the side and we'll start chopping up our herbs. So while our warm potatoes and primary vinaigrette are soaking, we're going to prepare our herbs, snip up a bunch of chives. I don't give you a specific measure for this, a couple tablespoons. I grabbed a bunch. I'm just going to snip these little guys all up. Chop up a bunch of parsley. Again, not a specific amount, but I like a lot of herbs in this, so that's probably 3 tablespoons. Chop it pretty finely, since the chives are so small. Then our shallot. Couple of good tablespoons full. Again, I like a lot of herbs, so I'm going to use the bigger piece here. And just pretty much by eye, take off the ends. What I do is I'll cut it in half and then slice it lengthwise and then cross cut it to make nice small pieces. To polish off our final dressing, we need about 2 or 3 tablespoons of the white wine vinegar. I've actually pre-measured this, so I know this is about 3 tablespoons. And the same amount of extra virgin olive oil. And we just stir this up. And then we're going to add this to our warm potatoes. Going to let this sit for maybe 5-10 minutes. So you make this just before you're about to serve it. For our final assembly, we just take our finishing dressing, the parsley, chives and shallots with a little bit of the new olive oil and white wine vinegar. Put it in with our potatoes. Just stir this up. And you can serve this right away. I would let it blend for a couple minutes and then just adjust the seasoning. We'll adjust the salt and the pepper and serve it. We've let our potato salad rest for a little bit and it's just perfect. So I'm just going to serve it up. I love serving this with barbecued steaks and burgers and stuff. It's a really great summer dish. And the warm potatoes. If you were able to serve it warm, you could even serve it in the winter, but I love serving it in the summer outdoors. I'm going to taste it. I love that. And there you have it. Pomme à l'huile, or French potato salad with an herb vinaigrette.